Yo guys, so right now we are going to make an example master material, or not really just showcase how you can create one yourself. And for that I am going to use material maker. I already made a texture, wood texture, pretty basic, a few details, it's pretty stylized, but I am going to use the maps, the normal albedo and height map to basically make to basically use it as an example for my shader. It is gonna be a pretty simple shader. I'm really just trying to show how you can create one yourself. Now, when you whenever, okay, you know what, I'm gonna actually delete this and I'm gonna create one all over again. Master example. Okay, as you can see there's gonna be nothing, but whenever you write constant there's gonna be multiple options, and what we want is constant v4. It gives the most amount of option for color. I am going to turn it white, so 111, but I'm just moving the slider is simpler. As for my example of textures, now these textures are for a whole nother thing. One of my projects I did with a team, Newton and Bolt. For my character I needed to do the VFX for my character, so the power was basically magnetism, and to basically showcase and inform the player that your power was activated, I created a few textures, variations of lightning. So yeah, that has nothing to do with y'all. Where is, oh, there you go, stylized. You know what, to keep myself organized, because this is something that's actually very important. Lightning. Lightning, move here, yes. Wood stylized 01. There you go. And I'm gonna drop my textures. Yeah, okay. Let me check that it's all good. Okay. The height and the normal. Okay. Normally I wonder if in Material Maker export, what I did was basically export Unreal Engine 5, and that's what it gave me. But I wonder if I could do the same, just like Substance Painter, where there's the ORM and everything. Okay, whatever. You know what? I'm gonna deal with that. It doesn't really matter. Make sure that you keep yourself organized, that you know where your stuff is at. That's very important, especially like when you have to work with other people. I mean, even for yourself, whenever you go back into a project and you're trying to find what something means, it's pretty hard. Uh, but yeah, let's do this. Constant. You can click tab. This is how you write multiply, or this is how you'll find the nodes that you need into your shader. As for, or you can right click too, that's the one that I use. So texture sample, this is the one we want to basically use our texture maps. I basically do copy paste, Control C, Control V, and I always make sure to convert to parameter to make sure to name them. But also this is important not just for the textures but also for the constant. And the reason why I'm saying this is that whenever you create a master material, you never want to use the actual master material. And the reason why I'm saying this is because for optimization, you will need to create an instance. Now, that's for a bit later. But this is important for naming, and this is important for when you want to create an instance, right? So, we have the base color, albedo if you prefer, or diffuse, same thing. We have the height map. I'm just gonna call it height. And normal map. Normally, whenever I don't use Material Maker that much, but what I would do would be, for example, in Substance Painter or in Designer or anything. Really, I would have a base color, a normal map, but I wouldn't really have a height map. I mean, sometimes actually I would, but the third one that I would have would be the occlusion, roughness, and metallic all in one map, right? That would be what I would use. Height would be more like a bonus thing for me. But let's keep on pushing. Honestly, I don't really need this map, but you know, just for the showcase, I'm gonna put it there. But if you're searching for your this is why naming is also very important. This is where you're gonna be searching for your texture, and look, height, wood, stylized, and height. Base color, I named it all wood stylized, so it would be pretty easy to search. Right now I don't have much textures, so it doesn't really matter, but later on I might want to actually put like base BC, H, and N. These are, instead of, because in Unreal there's going to be a limit in like the naming, so whenever you name, you actually want to do like a small abbreviation. And for base color BC, height H, and normal N. And for the occlusion, roughness, and metallic, you would write ORM, right? And it would be basically in order, so it's easy to find through the red, green, and blue channel. Sorry if all of this is confusing, but please bear with me. I was gonna say please keep up. That's crazy. Wood stylized, wood, there you go, normal. You know what, for this I might just use the normal and the base color for what I want to show. So for base color, you can just insert right there, and this basically creates your shader. Pretty simple enough. Now this is pretty basic, so if you want to add, you know what, I'm gonna showcase this through another, to add something, shapes, cube, and you know what, let's put it on a podium right there. So it's, and for Unreal, R is for scaling, just letting y'all know. Okay, W for moving, and I use Alt and you can just use the middle mouse, but Alt is basically to kind of do a rotation around the point that you were already at. And whenever you left click, you can kind of move, but I prefer to use the middle mouse because I have more control. You can also control the speed and the amount of movement, but I wouldn't touch this. But yeah, just small little tutorial. The main point is this materials, and normally I would do another folder for instances. My fault. Instances. You know what I'm gonna do? So whenever you click on the master, you do create material instance. You basically click, right click, and then create instance. It will tell you that what's if you actually created an instance. If you can tell, there's material, it says it right there, and material instance constant. Now I am going to rename it. Whenever we want to name an instance, we say m e m i mass. I'm gonna say mi example. And I would basically move that to the instances. Now, when we go to the instance, okay, oh, don't forget, just like me, to apply your changes and save. You don't need to necessarily click apply, you can just save and it will apply automatically. But as you can see, the textures has been added. I'm gonna erase this because I don't need this. Now, to make any changes that you do will appear here. And to also keep yourself organized in your instance, there is a group section, which I will call this group textures. Okay. Wait, let me save. And textures basically applied the group. Keeps yourself organized. But to make your base color more interesting, you can either add a multiply or an add. Now, the difference between an add node and a multiply node is that an add is more like if the initial value that you have, you add +1, basically. You just kind of add on to it. But with multiply, it's more exponential. I mean, not really exponential, but it's not really, whenever you add a value, it will not be just +1. It's a lot more than that. But these two nodes are kind of similar, so you can pick either one. But me personally, I kind of prefer to use multiply. It's in my opinion easier. I'm more used to it, but you can choose either one, doesn't really matter. So don't forget, convert to parameter color tint, and this will basically change the color of your texture, your albedo, your base color. And you basically put A over B to this is the base. Whoa. Oh, no. Wrong. Okay. My bad. Wrong. This is gonna be D base and the tint is gonna be on the B. To basically multiply over. My bad. So I save, it applies, and we have color tint. Now I am going to name this in a group color mod diff, to basically imply that this is for modifications of my color, base color. Let me save again. There you go. And as you can see, this applies pretty well. Okay, there's in another video I'm gonna teach y'all how to do a world align, but it's not gonna be for this video, okay? So as you can see, it tiles pretty well. I mean, it's pretty big, but I'm gonna teach y'all how to do a world line, how to do tiling and everything in a whole nother video. It's not gonna be for this video, but now you can modify your the tint of, you have to save obviously the tint of your base color. I'm going to return it to the white, the classic, and it's not just that, but you can also add functions to it. Hold on. Now this is another constant. This is the constant that you use to add functions to your, I mean parameters, to basically control sliders. So let me show y'all. Convert, and let's just say this is brightness. So we're gonna do another multiply. This is gonna be the base, and as you can see, the brightness has been added to 0. Now we're gonna add this also to the color modif. Oh, okay, save. So as you can see, it's black. Don't get confused. You can make it lighter. This is basically to control the brightness of your color map. And as you can, okay, wait, let me put it, save. And as you can see, it's darker. Now you are able to create multiple functions into your shader. Now you do have to, I mean, for me, I kind of had to do a bit of trial and error to understand why certain things creates this result. Also, I was taught in school. Now after this, after brightness, after I control the brightness, I can control the contrast. Oh my god. I can just honestly copy paste contrast, mult, to have more control. Oh, already added because I copy pasted. Also controls, it does control also a bit of the how can I say, brightness, my bad. But this does gives us a bit more control over the values. Hold on, I can just create a cheap contrast. Okay, now this does get a bit confusing. You know what, I'm gonna delete this and I'm gonna move everything and I'm gonna put comments over things so y'all understand. So this controls the brightness, added the multiply to basically control over the overall values of this. So color tint, brightness, and I want to control the contrast, so I added a node that's called a cheap contrast. And here you go. This is going to control over. Now it's missing an input, and for this input I am going to put this over to control. Also, if you're tired of the initial darkness, you can put an initial value of 1, and you can make sure, as you can see, I'm controlling the more edges contrast of the wood plank. It's more of the highlights that it's controlling. It's a lot more precise. And this is more controlling the overall, more so the main color, but really overall values of the base color. Now this video is getting long, so I am going to finish this, but you can make the initial values anything that you want if you feel like you'll get confused whenever you're creating your shader and everything is already dark. As you can see, because I put these initial values, that's how it's going to look at first. Hold on. Wait. Oh, okay. I didn't put the initial values for this one. Either way, the video is getting long, so I'm not trying to waste too much time. But as you can see, this is the result. And for the final thing, for the normal map, you can just put multiply, just like I did, just like we learned. You can control hold on, constant. You can control the values of your map by creating a constant, making it a perimeter, normal, intensity, and now you can add to the B and add the map to the A, and then you put it over your normal map. Now, because the value is 0, as you can see, it's completely flat. Now, you don't need to panic. You can put the default value at 1, and it will appear onto your final result. Obviously, make sure that this is grouped. Probably name it intensity control, or if you want to make it its own thing, normal intensity, so you know where it's at. Because every initial group is going to be called global scalar parameter values, and you don't want to get confused in your own mess. So yeah, you can make anything really more intense with the normal map. Now I don't understand. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Now understand what's happening, but basically the normal map is reversed. So when that happens, 1 minus to reverse it. Why is it so intense? Do I need to make an add instead? Oh, okay. I don't know why this is clamp. Okay. Now that's fully weird. I don't know why is it creating this. Okay, I'm not. Hold on. Let me try this. Let me flatten the normal. So, okay, flatness, and there you go. So, ignore all of this, and I've just flattened the normal. Oh, okay, now it makes sense. This is the result I wanted. Okay. Now, this is something that might happen. This doesn't happen a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Normally, whenever I do a shader, I don't necessarily need to always add a flatten. But if it happens, sometimes it's when I need to add another node, it's either because the normal map it's either reversed or um to create the effect that I wanted, I need to create a flattened normal. So to basically do a small explanation, this, I mean, really, it's in the name, flattens your normal. Um, Now that we exactly know what we're doing, I'm going to erase all of this. Okay, so now instead of having a multiply, use a flatten normal if it does create this effect. As you can see, you can intensify. At some point, it looks weird, so be careful with it. You don't necessarily to add like a lot. Probably just need to add a little bit to create the intense effect that you want. If you hold on, I'm gonna move the slider. I wonder if I can just there you go. Okay. So this is the slider for the normal intensity. And as you can see, just moving a little bit already creates a deeper effect. You don't necessarily need to like put it to this much intensity, 18. You probably only need to put it at minus 0.08 to create a nice effect. But this was just a small tutorial to teach you how to create a shader. Hopefully you learned, and maybe in another like tutorial I'm gonna teach y'all how to do a glass material and emissive, and just like I promised, add other functions. So hopefully you like the video. Like this video, subscribe, share, and hopefully you learned.